Well, what's up, kids? Hope y'all are doing awesome today. I freaking love this question. Y'all see questions like this come up on podcasts, virtual summits, panels. I know many of you do those things too. This kind of question or something very similar to this comes up. Somebody asked this question actually when they joined our community recently, and it's a really fun question to answer. So, anybody is totally welcome to throw their answers into the comment threads here, okay? There are so many different opinions on what to do if you're starting from scratch and have that hard stop experience, okay? So, let me dive in and tell you my answers. I have two answers. Now, as we all know, these kind of questions are kind of framed in a vacuum. Like, what if you were on an island out in the middle of the ocean and just you, your cat, and your dog survived? Which would you eat first, your cat or your dog? It's a horrible question, right? I don't want to eat either one of my cat or my dog, but I guess I'd probably eat the cat first because I'm sure my cat would have already killed my dog and my cat would have more calories in it. I don't know. It's just a silly question, right? So these questions are real, but also in a vacuum. So take that. I need to hear, yeah, right. So same right there. Rock, this is a fun conversation, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, which you are, because everybody in our community is, and you've built any kind of business for any length of time, you've been up against the wall at some point. You've had that experience where you needed to restart and hit it fast. Okay, here's what I would do. I would go in one of two directions, ideally both, if you can handle the workflow. All right. So I'm assuming you don't have any virtual team member support, no administrative support. You literally have 1 month. You can see right there, 1 month of saving. I'm assuming that 1 month of saving is what I have to use to pay the bills for the next month. I don't have cash. Okay. No cash, no help. Just me, the grit, the grind, my computer and internet connection to get it going. That's where I'm starting from. Number one, I would absolutely make a list of my key influencers, my key relationships, the people I know in my life who are interested in what I'm doing. All right. They could be people who are already clients, past clients, or they could just be key relationships in town. Your brother in law, sister in law, your next door neighbor, your favorite person at the coffee shop. I would make a list of people that I know I can talk to. And I would call them all, text them all, but I would do this in voice or in person if possible. Get on a Zoom call with them all, and I would let them know, hey, I have a few spaces open for my product or service. If you're in education, you're teaching people your expertise. If you're doing done for yous, if you're doing consulting hours, whatever. By the way, I would have all those available. You're starting from scratch here, right? You got to start over. Let's hustle, right? So let's say you're a website builder or an expert or a brand manager or somebody who's a Facebook ads manager. Or your expertise is in public speaking or ghostwriting books, whatever it is. I would say I have a few spaces available right now for people who are looking to ghostwrite their book. I'm just use that example to help them get the writing done, to help them get it marketed, to help them get on that number one bestseller spot that's so coveted on Amazon. All right. I can do it with them. I can help them, coach them one on one. We're also starting a group soon, and I can put them in our group coaching program at an even better price. I would just lay it out there. And I would say I've got a few spots available because if you show up in this time and you show up desperate, if you feel desperate in the moment, you're going to push people away. Again, bring on your questions here, folks, or pour in your comments. I'm open to anything here. This is a fun conversation. Key thing is here, you cannot approach a desperate situation with desperation. You have to stop, think, and act. All right. I love being outside. My family, I love adventures. We do a lot of really fun outdoor adventures. And we teach our kids to stop, think, act. Meaning, if a situation gets scary, you get lost in the woods, you get a snake bite, you've slidden down into a ravine, whatever's going on. There's a fire that's getting out of the fire pit and starting to get out of control at a campsite. Something that's scary, right? You get hurt, cut, whatever. Stop. Just stop for a second. Burning 10 seconds and waiting 10 seconds to stop and think is not going to change the outcome of that emergency 99.9% of the time. Stop, think, get reasonable, and then take strong action. Same with this scenario. Stopping, you got 30 days here, folks, which means you got about a week or two to start getting a client in and start getting some payments in, right? Stopping for literally 30 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. taking that deep breath, reorienting and saying, okay, here are the things I know I can do and do well. All right. Even if I haven't gotten any business in 6 months and I'm at the end of my rope, I know I can do these things. Just be honest with it. You know, you can do this. Done for you services, one-on-one coaching, done with you services, group coaching, whatever. You can use your expertise. Write that down and then make a list of all the key people you know in your life that you can reach out to and say, not in a place of desperation, not with that voice, but just letting them know I have a few spaces available for these services. Do you know anybody who's mentioned writing a book recently, building a website recently, starting whatever it is that you're an expert in? Do you know anybody who's mentioned that? Would love to reach out and have a meaningful conversation. If it's a fit, great. If it's not, no worries. Just a no pressure, chill, and saying, I only have a few spaces available right now, but I would love to know if you know anybody that you trust, that you think would be a great client to work with. It'd be a good client experience. I want to talk to that person. That's where I'd go. If you approach that list of people with desperation, oh my gosh, I got 30 days of cash left. I got to have a client. Well, people won't want to send you a client then because you don't look like you're any good at what you do. I'm sorry. It's just the way it comes across. And that's not a great marketing platform to start on, right? So stop, think, act. That's number one. Second thing I would do, and I would do these in tandem if at all possible. If you don't know anyone and there's no connections you have anywhere, then just start with number two here. If you know people, start with number one, add number two. I would build an organic audience on your social media platform of choice, and I would attract your ideal customer into conversations, and I would make it relevant and personal. I'm going to get to unwind all this. Don't worry. I'll explain all this. And I would have the ultimate same conversation, inviting them to be part of your product service offering. Okay, let's back that up. When I say organic, I don't mean go out and build a funnel and run ads. And I don't even mean stalking somebody else's clubhouse venue. I mean, build yourself a space. Go create a Facebook page for your brand. Go just put your own stuff. Keep it simple. Put content about what you do on your own personal Facebook page, your profile. Put it on your Instagram profile. Put it on your LinkedIn profile. Just take a day and get that done. Get these little landing pages set up. All right. You don't have to go build a website or anything like that. Just get the main social platforms looking like, oh, this person builds websites, helps authors write books, helps people figure out stage speeches, whatever. And then start organically reaching out on any platform you can where you can identify your target market. Okay. So, like on Facebook or LinkedIn, you can search for people by what they call themselves, what they do. They're a marketing expert, they're an author, they're a coach, they're an expert in something, they're an organizer of this kind of community. You can start looking for those things and you can pre-qualify who even gets in the friend group, who gets in the communication cycle. And then as they respond back, giving you that like, that thumbs up, that friend request acceptance, start meaningful conversations. Don't start with, hey, I build websites. Would you like one? Start with, hey, noticed you're in this space. Tell me more about what you do. Would love to support in any way I can. Like, be a good neighbor, right? Starting that process really only takes a week or two. Usually it's 7 to 10 days. And you can have enough conversation with somebody where you know, are they a relevant person for you to connect to or are they not? And if they're relevant, stay in there and support them. It's really amazing how fast people will get in conversations and eventually say, I need something that you can help me with. And they'll want your help. And then it's not a creepy, pushy sales pitch. It's a relationship that's actually bringing mutual value. You can fill a book of clients easily within 30 days with that kind of strategy. I've done that multiple times in 30-day sequences, just testing things out. It's not hard. Here's what's hard. What's hard is when you go into it looking for some sort of bot or machine to just blow it up and run it, and you spend a whole week building out a funnel and the bots and the communication sequences, and then you turn it on and it feels like a robot. That's hard. But if you're willing to put in the work, right? You got nothing going on, right? You got no prospects, no clients. You just got a month of bank, and you're burning that on rent and electricity right now, right? So you got time. Take the time and do those interactions personally and make it real. When you can do that, you will see what your people need. You'll find the connections. You'll find the clients. You just got to stay after the numbers game. For instance, on Facebook, you can typically friend 20 to 50, depending on your level of friends, 20 to 50 people a day on your personal Facebook profile. You can do that, right? Let's say you only do 20 a day. That's 100 a week. If you're just working 5 days a week and taking off on the weekends. In 2 weeks, you got 200 people, some of which are in conversations. It's only 100 in conversations, and only 50 of them really keep those conversations going. You're going to get on a phone call or a Zoom call with 10 to 20 people out of that ratio just in 2 weeks. That's worth it. If you're starting from scratch, if you're restarting, let's talk pricing for a second too. Let's say you have a $10,000 website offer and it's just not working for you and you need to restart really quick. Then jump on the calls using the 2 methods we just talked about. Get people in conversation with you and tell them what your packages are if they need it. And then help them be creative with the pricing. If they're like, ouch, 10 grand, I can't do that. I'm telling you what, folks, if you're not doing anything for the next 30 days, you may as well be doing something for half price. Get in there and get some traction going. It does a lot of things. That little bit of traction gives you confidence, right? It lets you know, okay, forget the pricing for a second. Somebody actually believes again that I know what I'm doing. I can build a website, help them market, build Facebook ads, write their book, lead a group coaching program, whatever. It helps you get that confidence back. It also gives you a little bit of cash flow. When I've been in this situation, hard stop, I'd say 4 times, like as in where we were transitioning between businesses or had one just completely tank. We're entrepreneurs, guys. I'm an entrepreneur. I like jumping off cliffs. All right. Sorry. It's just the way it works. We're risk takers. That's it, right. You relate to that. 4 times been in the situation, but I like this situation. It's kind of fun. It's invigorating. So 4 times. And each one of those times, I let the pricing be flexible, reach out to any groups of people or influencers or just friends I already have, let them know what I'm doing. Like I told you, point 1, go back and review if you didn't hear that point. Point 2, I'm building that organic audience on any platform you want. Pick one and drill it. Don't pick 10 because you'll collapse. Pick one and get after it. Your market's on every platform, I promise. Pick the one you like. When you get them on a call, if they want what you got, like you've built a relationship, this is real. You've either gotten a real referral, you've built a real relationship. You're not just spamming people. Offer what you do and help them make a buying decision. If the price is lower than you're hoping for, it's okay. It's cash flow. When I'm in this situation, I'm always moving my cash flow end date, the end of my runway. I actually like have it on a calendar, typically on the wall and the door on the front of this. When I've done this before, I didn't have the studio built in, but typically on a door or somewhere around in my workspace, I have a physical calendar and I would like mark off, here's how much cash I have. Like I run out of money on June 2nd, right? Okay. So I make a new sale. Cool. Now I run out, even though it wasn't as much as I wanted to make it. Now I run out of money on June 17th. Awesome. I just bought myself 2 weeks. Sweet. Keep doing the stuff, right? Keep working those prospects, keep being relatable, relationable, and make sure you're really building those referral connections. Like we just talked about, go back and review. And marking off on the date every time you make a sale. If it's a big sale, the smallest little thing, an extra $500 in your pocket, put it on the calendar. How far out did you move the runway? Your goal is to push the runway out to the 90-day point. Once I get to a 90-day point, I make sure that I can start taking more strategic action. Okay. So if I'm in a 30-day crunch, I'm going to get clients in the door and we're just going to go. Like we got to go. Let's work the prices out, whatever it has to be. Let's get cash in the door and get working, right? Once I get to a 90-day limit, then I can be a little more strategic. I can say, okay, I'm going to start hiring a key team member. I'm going to start finding someone to help me support me with the administrative work or the prospecting or the referral building or whatever. I'm going to help me with the workflow. I'm going to start raising my prices 20% every 3 or 4 sales until I get them back up to where they need to be. Start doing those things. When you got that 90-day burn, then you know you got some space. You know you could always, if you're like trying new strategic things, you're like, oh crap, I'm back down to 60 days now. No worries. You know what to do to get it back to 90. You've already proven that. So once you get to 90, you can experiment a little bit with raising prices, building your team, getting your structures and systems back in place, and you can rebuild as you go forward. That's my answer, folks. Curtis, awesome to see you. Feel free to throw your answers in the comment thread here. Ask questions if you want to. I'll stick around here for a couple minutes. I get this question a ton. It's a really common podcast question, a really common interview question. I think it's a fascinating one. Again, this question comes in a vacuum, right? You're building the answer to this question. I just built you the answer to this question in a vacuum, in a closet, with no other outside market realities going on, right? But those are my answers. And I say those answers because I've done both of those things and a combination of those things multiple times, and it works. It just works. We still build our business on those same organic, relational, helping people move forward principles. That stuff works no matter where you are in your business or life cycle stage as an entrepreneur, or in this group as a group coach, mastermind leader, whatever you're trying to build, those groups. It simply works. Rock, should you pause launching a Facebook group and do the organic stuff first? Super good question, Rock. I think a Facebook group is a great place to do an organic launch. You can do the one-on-one messaging and actually build a relationship and invite people into your community in a Facebook group or into your Clubhouse community or into any other thing you got. I think having a stage like a Facebook group or a YouTube channel or something is a really helpful thing. So when people do accept your friend request or whatever on it, whatever platform you choose to build on, having a little place that's like home, your community stage, helps people kind of stalk you a little bit and get to know you a little bit. So they get to know, like, and trust you faster. They can see who you are. Rock, you're an amazing human. So Rock, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Rock's in my mastermind. Rock and I get to hang out quite a bit. He's a tremendous guy to get to know. If you want anything branding, anything like your name put on a physical item, digital or physical, like, Rock will help you figure that out and make a connection that actually sticks with your clients, not just a connection that's just like, I got my logo on a Yeti cup, but no, like, was that the right thing to do that reached your audience? Rock's brilliant at that. So Rock, thanks for asking these great questions because they're helping a lot of people, I know. So yeah, I think having a platform, Facebook group, whatever, as a place for people to kind of stalk a little bit is super helpful. Again, anybody ask questions if you want to. Was thinking about doing a Facebook video talking about the launch of our Facebook group today, but don't want to look salesy. You know, I've never pre-announced, Rock, like if we're starting a new group or new community. If we're starting a community, let me divide this up. If we're starting a brand new community and I'm not trying to pull people from another community I already own, so to speak, then I really just start the community and start inviting people to it. I don't make a big announcement. If you have an enormous social media following, that could be a community you already own. You can make an announcement, bring people to it. But unless you're trying to separate your communities, like, hey, for all of you who are interested in this kind of stuff, I'm building a group over here about this. Let me know if you're interested in this, because I want to get you in there. That's a great reason to do that launch video. I think if you're Rock, I know you probably have a significant social media following. I haven't looked lately, but I'm just knowing you. I'm sure you do on lots of platforms. I think that's a cool announce video. It brings people in, you know, it gets the conversation started, gets the house party rocking, right? I mean, that's what these groups are all about. It's really having a good place for people to hang out. Rock, man, you bet. So great to see you, dude. Okay. Any other questions on that? That is a super awesome question. Freaking love this. No prospects, no clients, 1 month of savings. What would you do? If you're watching the replay on this, which is the case most of the time for most of you, we just don't have time to do the live thing, right? If you're watching the replay on this, I had your answers. Ask your questions. I'll do my best to answer them as they come up. If you have questions about everything I just talked about, but also would love to hear anybody else's perspective on this. Again, this is one of those weird questions that happens in a vacuum. That's real life because it happens. But talking about it like this is like, well, here's what I do. But unless you're in the moment, in that space and time, in that current political climate, in that current world health climate, in that current, what is technology? What's the hottest social media platform? Like there's so many variables to this question. But the two principles I just laid out are pretty much pandemic free, political free, social media platform free. Like, this is about relationships and being organic and actually being present in the prospecting work. That's what makes this work. So yeah, I've done this without platforms, social media platforms, and with I've done it with email lists, with just the phone list in the contact list in my phone, or on social media platforms. Relationships, folks, right? Oh my gosh. It's always about relationships. I know, who knew? But it's so, so true. Relationships are what matter. Stick with that principle, and you'll probably just be fine. Because if you just have a little direction on the relationships always work. All right, kids, y'all have an awesome day. Have a great day. Get out there and prospect. Don't stop doing the things you need to do. Stay after it. Hardest thing to do every day is prospect. Prospecting is the lifeblood of your business. Make sure you always know you can steer that ship any way you want to. If you're prospecting, it'll keep going. Just keep prospecting. All right, lean in, ask questions, send us private messages, ask them in the chat. That's why we are here. We're here to make sure everybody moves forward. Most of the stuff we talk about in this group is building those high-ticket group coaching programs or masterminds of your own, using your expertise in a highly productive and profitable way. Ask your questions. Like, we are here to help. Most people in this group are running their own masterminds or building a mastermind, trying to start that program, or they have their own done for you or done with you agencies. They're doing one-on-one consulting. You got a ton of experts in this community, folks. Ask your questions. My team and I will do the best we can to answer. Typically, things get answered way better than we would ever answer them just by the awesome people in this group. All right. Talk to you all later. Enjoy. Have a great day. Do the work, as always, and get the results.